Can Drew McIntyre bring it home for Scotland? We're going to find out at Clash of the Castle. It's the first WWE pay-per-view, WWE special event. First time WWE have did a major show in the UK since Insurrection in 2003, man. So that is a long, long time ago. Nearly 20 years to be exact. And now it's a Drew McIntyre from the UK, from Scotland, with a chance to end the 2-year reign of the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Welcome back, guys, to Son of Scotland TV here, ready to preview WWE Clash at the Castle. Now, I want to say a few things, first of all, before we look at the match card. With Drew McIntyre being the main attraction, being the challenger, being probably, I would say, the biggest threat to Roman Reigns' title. The whole show is kind of built around that. I mean, it's in the name of the show, Clash at the Castle. Castles, I guess, are something that are predominantly, I guess, predominantly, what do you call it? Like, predominantly acknowledged or whatever with Scotland. I mean, you think of castles, you probably think of Scotland, or at least the UK in general, but I would say more Scotland. So I would have kind of liked if, I don't know, maybe we could have held this in Scotland, but I totally understand why they're doing it in Wales, why they're doing it in Cardiff, because of the Principality Stadium. It's a great stadium, it's a massive stadium, I believe it holds about, 85,000, something like that. So I totally get it. It's probably a better option than what could you do in Scotland? You could do Hampden, you could do Murrayfield, I guess. I mean, the Hydro's okay, but it's not a big, it's not a stadium. A Hydro is more like an arena show. So yeah, I understand why they're doing this. I totally get it. But it does seem a bit weird that, Drew McIntyre is the selling point here, yet, the pay-per-view is in Wales. But it is what it is, guys. So that was just something that bothered me a wee bit. So, yeah, let's talk about the matches. Let's talk about the titles on the line. And, let's talk about who we think are going to come away with the victories on Saturday evening. Yeah, I think it's going to be like a very early show. For the people in the UK, normally we have to sit up to 1 a.m. and the eyes are falling out the back of your head, but we should be alright, man. It's actually going to be on at a reasonable time for us this weekend, so happy about that. Now, I don't know what order these matches are going to be in, to be honest with you, so we're just going to go through them in no particular order. And we will kick off with Edge and Mysterio, with Dominic Mysterio by their side versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and obviously they will have Rhea Ripley by their side in a tag team match. First of all, I hate the Judgment Day. I think it's a horrible stable, a horrible faction, and since they took Edge out of it, I just lost zero interest. I mean, that's the biggest downgrade of all time. You replace Edge with Finn Balor. Who's supposed to give a shit about that, really, at the end of the day? I don't. Plus, all the interaction, Rhea Ripley's been hung with males, and the fact that she can get physical with them and they can't retaliate or get physical in any way with her, it's so phony, it's garbage. Everything I see with the Judgment Day sucks. Now, having said that, I've got a feeling the Judgment Day might win this one, and I've got a feeling Dominic Mysterio will join up with the Judgment Day. He's been getting beaten up by Rhea Ripley lately. I've got a funny feeling that he will become the 4th member. And for me, he will fit in with the Judgment Day, because I think Dominic Mysterio sucks and the Judgment Day sucks. So, it should be a good pairing, or a good fit, having him in that stable. Obviously, Edge and Rey Mysterio are the draws. No one really, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you probably didn't think that you were going to get Edge and Rey Mysterio tag teaming, or just appearing at a pay-per-view in general. But yeah, it's crazy that at their age these guys can still go. I want to see Edge and Rey win, but I've got a funny feeling it's going to be the Judgment Day. So I'm going to go for the Judgment Day in that one. Up next, we've got Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus with the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch, for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Again, I think Sheamus has been putting on this show. I'm taking nothing away from Sheamus, no disrespect here meant at all, but I think he has mainly been put on this show, and he's in the spot for the IC title because it is a show in the UK. Yeah, Sheamus is from Ireland, but I think, that they're basically, that we all know that Americans and geography and stuff like that isn't their strong point, man. They probably just look at Sheamus being Irish, and they just think that Ireland is part of the UK. They don't understand that you've got Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. I mean, they don't understand Britain. They think England is the UK. I mean, they think Scotland is England. I mean, not all of them, but I mean, a lot of Americans actually couldn't tell you the difference. So, I mean, it is what it is. They probably never even heard of Wales before this pay-per-view. But regardless, I don't think Sheamus is going to be the man to take the belt off Gunther, especially since I've got a prediction that I think would go against Sheamus. I don't see them putting the belt on, let's say, two of the home favourites on the one show. So I've got a funny feeling Gunther will retain, but it should be a good match. It'll be a hard-hitting match. Sheamus, I like Sheamus, got time for Sheamus, always delivers. I think he is believable. He came up in an era, in my opinion, when even though wrestling was on the decline rapidly, it still had stars, it still had that big feeling to it. So I think that did benefit Sheamus coming up in 2009, 2008, rather than coming up maybe 5 years later when, wrestling was pretty much dead. But, I don't think Sheamus is going to win tonight. I think Sheamus deserves another world title before he retires. I definitely can see that, but I just don't think he's going to be the man to defeat Gunther. Gunther, not a massive fan of Gunther, but he's okay. I like the gimmick. I think the gimmick's I know people pissed their pants about his name being changed from Walter to Gunther, but in my opinion, at least Gunther, you're trying to portray him as some sort of German or whatever, some sort of foreign, the evil foreigner gimmick, and that, is it great? No, but it's better than some fat guy called Walter who likes to fight, who likes to wrestle. So, give me Gunther over Walter any day of the week, but I think Gunther is going to beat Sheamus in this one and retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Up next, Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. And I've got to say that stuff that they did on Raw, and especially the kind of after segment they did off of Raw that was exclusive, like an online exclusive. Well, after Matt Riddle spoke about Seth Rollins' wife, and then Seth Rollins says, "You want to talk about my family? How about we talk about your family?" Oh wait, you don't got one because your wife divorced your ass and took your kids because they don't want to see you. And then you have Matt Riddle absolutely losing the plot. Where the fuck are you? I'm gonna fuck you up. That was great. That was probably the most realistic piece of television that we've seen in years. That was fucking great. There's no doubt in my mind that was absolutely phenomenal. So fair play to Riddle, fair play to Seth Rollins. I'll be honest, I mean, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't really interested in seeing this match. I didn't think there was much to it. Didn't think the feud, the rivalry was there, but after what happened on Raw, I mean, damn it, this is, I'm so actually pumped for this match. Cannot wait to see it. As for who's going to win, it's going to be Matt Riddle, or it's going to be Seth Rollins. I've got a funny feeling they're going to go with Seth. Matt Riddle is the underdog here, but Seth has lost a lot lately. I mean, Matt Riddle even brought this up, that he's lost to Roman Reigns, and he lost to Cody again and again and again. I don't see Seth Rollins losing to Matt Riddle, even though I like Riddle, and I do think, you need wins to get pushed into that main event like caliber, elite level or whatever, but I just don't see Riddle beating Seth Rollins tonight. I really don't, or tomorrow night even. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to beat Riddle. But yeah, after what happened on Raw, after what went down, really looking forward to this match. Plus Riddle's pretty good. He's a pretty good fighter, so maybe if he is pissed, maybe he could hurt Seth Rollins for real. So we'll see. We'll see who's going to be the man after that one. And it won't be Becky Lynch because she's not on this show. Up next with Bianca Belair teaming up with Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus the team of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. What is the point of this trio? I mean, literally, it could just be for this event. Alexa Bliss and Asuka should not be tag teams. Should not be a tag team. They've got nothing in common. There's just no chemistry there whatsoever. Alexa Bliss and Asuka have got potential to be two of the best women, I think, on the show, but at the moment, they need I don't know. Alexa Bliss needs to go back to the goddess character, and Asuka needs to get a bit more serious or do something. She looks very sloppy in the ring as of late, and she's just coming out and dancing, and it's a bit shit, like it really is. And as for the other member, take the belt off her. You all know my thoughts on Bianca Belair. She absolutely sucks. I think the team of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky will win this. And again, I don't like that team either. What's the point of calling two people up and just having them come out as like essentially henchwomen for Bayley? That's no way to create a star. You know, stars are created on their own individually. Just throwing two women together with Bayley isn't going to cut it. But I do think Bayley's team will win that one. But probably for me, the match on the card that I am least looking forward. Yeah, no, I'll say that with a fact, actually. It's the match that I'm least looking forward to. This match could get cancelled, and I would not lose 1 second's sleep. I do think Bayley's team will win it, though. So I'm going to go with them. Up next, we have Liv Morgan, the champion, versus Shayna Baszler for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan defeated Ronda Rousey, and now she is taking on Ronda Rousey's friend, Ronda Rousey's stablemate, Ronda Rousey Light. She's taking on Shayna Baszler, the other MMA fighter without the impressive record, without the UFC Women's World Championship. But I've seen Shayna Baszler compete, and she's not bad. You know, I tell you what, if it's a real fight, she'll beat Liv Morgan in 10 seconds. But unfortunately, it's not going to be a real fight. It's going to be a scripted WWE fight. Now, I remember when they had this 7 Women's Pack Challenge, I predicted Shayna Baszler to win that. I think Liv Morgan is awful. I do not like Liv Morgan at all. I think her title run has been pathetic. It sucks, and I think that they need to pull the trigger and just take it off her. I wouldn't even be surprised. It looks, from what I've seen lately, though, it looks like they actually might be turning her heel slowly. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some sort of fully committed heel turn tonight, tomorrow night even, from Liv Morgan. She'll somehow cheat to win or whatever. I don't know, but I don't want to see her with the belt anymore. I'd actually put it on Shayna Baszler. Why not? I don't think Shayna Baszler's the best person on SmackDown to have it, but is she a better person to have it than Liv Morgan? Absolutely. So I would put it on Shayna Baszler. And then we move on to the big one. It is the one everyone is coming to see. It is for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. So it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is for both belts. It's almost like the belts have been combined at the moment. Now, it has been listed for the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship, but as far as I'm aware, the Undisputed isn't exactly a championship. It's more like a title, you know. It's like just what you call someone. It's like in boxing, you can be the Undisputed Champion, but it's just a title at the end of the day. It's just something they call you. It's not an actual belt. You know, the belts are like the WWE, the WBA, the WBO, the WBC, and you've got those, you know, individual championships. So I don't know if it sounds like there's only one title on the line here, and that's the Universal title. Now, I don't know if I'm just misreading this or what. To me, we need a world title on both brands. So I think the best thing to do would be to have one title on the line and get a belt off Roman Reigns. But at the same time, I feel like if you only put one belt on Reigns and one belt on the line and he loses it, it doesn't feel like a big deal. I feel like whoever defeats Reigns should almost I feel like whoever defeats Reigns should win both belts, because I think it will matter more, rather than, oh, I beat Reigns and I won a belt, but Reigns has still got a belt. You know, I don't think that would feel as big. But keep in mind, we do have Austin Theory with the Money in the Bank contract, so he could easily take away one of those belts tonight. As for my prediction, guys, I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. I mean, Roman Reigns has had a lot of help from the Bloodline in recent weeks, keeping Drew McIntyre at bay. Will he have help from the Bloodline at the pay-per-view? Who knows? Will Drew McIntyre have help? Well, he'll have about 80,000 people behind him, that is for sure. That's about all the help you need. I think it's time. I'll pull the trigger. I think Roman Reigns is, you know what? This whole Bloodline shit, it's been the best run of his career. No doubt about it. A lot of people hated him until he turned heel, until he aligned with Paul Heyman. It's been good. I'm not going to deny it, but I think it has went on a bit too long. I'm not saying he has to change the character or the stable has to change. I just don't think he needs the belt for 2 years straight. So I'm going to go with a title change. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre defeating Roman Reigns and winning the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. I don't think Austin Theory will cash in. I think they will send the crowd home happy, but I would not be surprised on Raw if we get... Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on Raw if we get an Austin Theory cash in and Austin Theory becomes the new, Raw champion, the WWE champion, and then Drew McIntyre is the Undisputed champion. So, I mean, the way things have been going, Karrion Kross has been feuding with Drew. It's very possible that Drew wins. He comes out to celebrate his title on Raw. Kross maybe attacks Drew, beats up Drew. That allows Austin Theory to cash in and win. And then that means carrying Cross cost Drew, and then Drew decides to defend the Undisputed Championship against Cross. I mean, I can easily see that happening. I mean, you could... I don't even know what Roman Reigns' status is, and I think once he loses the belt, he'll probably take more time off. So I don't think we'll get an automatic rematch with Roman Reigns Drew. I don't think they'd want Reigns to lose back-to-back to Drew either. So I don't think we'll see... If Roman Reigns does lose, I don't think we'll see him get a rematch. That's just my opinion, guys. But I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre to win. So there you go. Quickly just go for them. I'm going with the Judgment Day to defeat Edge and Mysterio. I'm going with Gunther to defeat Sheamus. Rollins to defeat Riddle. The team of Bayley, Dakota Kai and Io Sky to win that 6 women's tag team match. I'm going to go with... I didn't even give a prediction for the last match. I'm going to go with Morgan to beat Baszler, but I want Baszler to win 100%, but I think Morgan will probably just do it. And I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre to finally defeat Roman Reigns and to end the 2-year title reign. Yeah, he's pretty much held those belts hostage, so hopefully Drew McIntyre can free them tomorrow night at WWE Clash at the Castle. Anyway, guys, there you go. A bit of a long review here, but here. Don't say I never give you anything. Be back. Should I say preview, actually? Yeah, it was a long preview. It's been a long fucking day. It's been a long day indeed. Right, there you go, guys. That is it. Catch you tomorrow. Till next time. Peace.